Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a good December and that you're enjoying getting ready for the holiday season and the Christmas rush. I'm so glad I don't have to get involved in all that. But for those of you who do, I thought that I would come back with another book talk video and feature the last book that I read that is pretty easy to find. You can pick it up at any Barnes and Noble for just a few dollars. It is a small book of Irish fairy and folk tales. If you've been primarily to Barnes and Noble, but I'm pretty sure other bookstores also have this book. Show you the back cover as well. It's so pretty. I like books like this. And gilding for anybody who likes gilding, because some of us bookworms really like gilded pages. This is, when did I get this? I think I picked this up in the summer. I don't remember the exact price, but I know it is at Barnes & Noble because that's where I purchased it from. It's a very slim volume. As you can see, I'll give you an idea of what the typeface looks like. So this is a compilation of several short stories and one poem. The poem is by William Allingham. It's about the fairies. And most of these are collected, I believe, from or by writers from the late 1800s to early 1900s, if I recall correctly. I was too engrossed in the stories themselves to remember what the introduction said. But this is the kind of book that, let's see, if I wanted to give a book about, not strictly speaking fairy tales, because personally I don't really consider the Celtic stories and lore and myths to be fairy tales. I think that's because I grew up in the age of Disney, so I don't really consider them to be fairy tales. But if I wanted to give somebody a book that was more on the fantasy / mythology side, that type of genre, and I wanted, if the person I was giving the book to didn't necessarily want to sit down and read a much larger volume like some of the ones that I have, this is the kind of book that I would get, because it's very quick. You could probably, if you were really engrossed in it, read it in an afternoon. I think I got almost halfway through it in one day, and I was relatively busy that day. But it's a very easy read. I'm not going to try to pronounce all the Irish names because I haven't looked up the proper pronunciation for all of them yet. Now, I want to preface this, make sure that I include this in the video. I would not purchase this for a child, because even though it's a pretty easy read, some of the stories, if you've read the non-watered down Irish stories, you know they don't shy away from certain gorier details. And there are a couple of stories in here that are more frightening and not very child friendly. The first one that comes to mind is one of the last ones, The Three Wishes. And it's about a man who has extremely bad morals and is just about the laziest man in Ireland. And he ends up selling his soul to the devil and then tries to cheat the devil. And while it is to a certain extent funny, I'm not sure that that is the kind of story that you want a child to read. Also, because it doesn't shy away from the fact that he is pugilistic with certain people, including his wife. And she's pugilistic with him. So I don't think that that's a nice story for children to read. Another example would be The Witch of, let me double check the title. Yes, The Witch of Rathdowney. That one is definitely not one that I think a child should read, because it has some very graphic imagery in it with how the witch initially appears. I did like The Lady of Gallerus, I believe it's pronounced. It was written down by T. Crofton Crocker, and that's a story about a mermaid, a man who marries a mermaid, but they call them Meros. Pat Diver's Ordeal, that is more on the scary side too. So I wouldn't recommend this for children. It's not a child-friendly version of the Irish Tales. I would recommend this for, say, 16 to 18-year-olds and up, because of some of the subject matter as well as some of the imagery that's used. But it's definitely one that I would recommend getting for teenagers or adults, because it is very enjoyable. It doesn't come with a bookmark. I originally thought, because of the binding, if you can see, that it came with a cloth bookmark, but it doesn't. The pages are gilded. As I said, there are no illustrations, but frankly, I don't think it needs illustrations because I could picture everything pretty well in my head. It's very, the way that the writers recorded it is very, of course, poetic, because Irish stories do tend to be very, very poetic. And the imagery used is very vibrant. So I didn't miss the illustrations at all. In fact, I actually had to go back and double check to make sure that there weren't any because I was picturing everything in my head as they were talking. So this is definitely something that I would recommend. It's a nice, soft, faux leather cover, easy on the hands. And my only complaint is that it is as short as it is. I've got to get more Irish stories, I think, because I do like them. So I hope that you're enjoying the winter. It's a little bit warmer today than it has been the previous week. And I am attempting to get things organized enough and decorate up. As you can see, I got, trying to point, some Christmas cards that I got. I still have to tidy up. You don't even want to know what's behind this computer. There's so much. But I hope that you have a good day, and that if you decide to check out this book, that you enjoy it. Happy reading. Bye.